So I managed to buy Wolcen off of the Steam summer sale for $9, and this game got very bad reviews since it had kind of a disastrous launch, and the beginning phase of the game, from what I understand, was really mismanaged and a lot of crashes and bugs, and there wasn't really any end game. There was a lot of criticism and bad reviews about this game. So I picked it up for $9. I thought, how bad could it be? And I started playing it, and I really like it. I think that they have fixed a lot of the issues. I didn't play when it first came out. This is the first time that I played it, and I haven't ran into any issues at all. It's actually been really pleasantly surprising how good it is running compared to like Diablo 4 or even Path of Exile. Check those videos out if you haven't seen my previous videos about those two games, but this game is running very well, and I wanted to give a little bit of a review about what I think so far after putting about 10 hours into the game and getting through the first 1.5 chapters. So I wanted to go over the performance. You see, with about 93% battery, I have about an hour and 45 minutes of battery life. This is about the median that you'll see. It's not exceptional by any means, but it's not terrible. It's not like Dying Light, which has horrible battery life. So I tend to play this game just lying in bed with the charger plugged in, so I don't really worry about the battery life that much. But an hour and 45 minutes is completely fine. About 2 hours, and I am on my monitor right now recording this, so I play at 45 frames lock. I get a little bit more juice out of that, and I have a sharpness filter of 4 right now, so you can bring this down obviously, and that will marginally increase the battery life without looking much different on the Steam Deck screen. So as far as the frame rate goes, you can see it's at 60 right now. When you plug the Steam Deck in game mode into external monitor, it increases the frame rate lock to 60 from 45. So you could see when I was playing there in the intro, it dipped down a little bit below 60. It never has ever dipped below 45 for me. And I've explained in some of my other videos that I personally cannot tell the difference between 60 frames per second and 45 frames per second on the 60 hertz Steam Deck screen. I can tell the difference with 30 frames. It looks bad in my opinion, but 45 and 60 are functionally identical for the games that I play. So I decided to go with the Summoner Mage class. It's sort of just like a generic sorcerer class that has sorcerer spells, and I really like engineering or summoner minion pet builds in all games, and actually really like the way that they've implemented this. So in a lot of the ARPGs that I've played, if you go summoner build, you're sort of going all in, so that your minions do the majority of your damage, and you're sort of just the minion shepherd, kind of. You're like the master of your pets. This game, at least in the early to mid game, it feels a lot. Whoa, what is that? That was a lot of damage. I've actually never seen that before. Something is smashing me. This is some kind of beast, I guess. So yeah, it feels like I, on my own, can kill all the enemies that I encounter, and my minions are just as good as me. So if you see these things on the ground right here, Enerax, the way that the skills work in this game is it's kind of like Path of Exile gems, and I'm going to talk about what's going on right now, how I can't really pick that up. That's one of the downsides. But what you do is you get these Enerax, and if you hover over them, so like here, Enerac Anvil's Woe. So if I select this and I use it, that now becomes a spell that I have available to me. And then this one's called Tear of Ethereal. So I already have that, I use it. And now if I go to my skills menu, you can see here are all the Eneracs that I've found or bought. I don't think I've actually bought any, but you can buy them. And as you play the game, you level them up, and there's sort of a little skill tree for these. So I have 3 points for this spell, and I can allocate them how I want, right? So this one increases the movement speed. I've selected attack speed and minion life, and all the skills are sort of like this. You pick it up, it's level 1, and as you use it or kill enemies with it, you can change it. So like here, I can change it to fire damage. There's a whole lot of customization for each of these, and it's really nice. I haven't played with all of it so far, but it seems meaningfully different when I change a spell and upgrade a spell. It's sort of also got a Path of Exile style pass tree. It's nowhere near as customizable, but these rings, you can rotate them, and I've sort of gone for the minion build here, where I reduce my health and my minions get beefier. So as I level up, I've been leveling up my health here. So like my toughness is 194, and I'm sacrificing that so that my minions get a lot stronger. But yeah, the minion build's really fun to play. The active ability for the minions feels impactful. They sort of swarm an enemy and they smash them. At the beginning of the game, it felt like my minions were dying a lot, and as I went through this skill path, it feels like they're unkillable now and impactful when I select skills and I upgrade them. So I really like that aspect of the game. So one downside about this game that I really wanted to mention is that by default, it's an online game, like basically any other modern ARPG. And obviously I wanted to play with people and see, what the community was like, what the online game is like. And for me, it was very unstable. As I played the game, it would crash back to this main menu screen. It wouldn't actually crash the Steam Deck like Diablo 4 has been doing recently, but it was not a good experience. It was not enjoyable. So I switched to offline mode, and I have had 0 crashes. So, if this was a full price game, I think that would be enough for me to get a refund and stop playing this game. But for $9, going through the offline experience and through the campaign, maybe messing with the end game a little bit, I am fine with that. I wish there was some kind of setting that I could change to make the default, main menu to be my offline characters, because every time I want to play the game, I have to go switch to offline mode. It's a small annoyance, it's not a huge deal, but if that is a game changer for you and you have to play online, then you probably should not get this game, from my personal experience with the online mode. So one of the other downsides, and in my opinion the most annoying gripe I have with this game by far, is that when items drop on the ground, and this is sort of, Path of Exile has this problem to a lesser extent because they allow you to select what items you'd like to pick up, but there are 3 issues with items falling on the ground in this game in my experience. One is, just like with Path of Exile, your A button is bound to one of your spells, and you can pick up items while you're in combat, which is a problem that Diablo 4 solved. So, as you're pressing your buttons, if items fall on the ground next to you, it's going to prioritize picking those up. You won't cast your ability, and depending on the circumstance, that could be very bad. The second issue is there's no way, with the controller settings, for you to select which item you want to pick up. So you have to sort of move your character over one, and if there's a lot of items, in my experience, you can get to a position where you must pick up items that you don't actually want to pick up just to get to the item that you do want to pick up. And that's annoying, especially if your inventory is full. I don't like that a lot. And by far, the worst thing about items falling on the ground is how aggressive the game is with getting the text off of your screen with having no option to change that. So like many ARPGs, you can press Alt. So I have a key bound to Alt, and it will show you the text of the items on the ground. See how fast that disappears? It's like 1, 2, 3 seconds basically, and it's gone. So there's no toggle Alt, there's no configuration to change it. So when I press Alt, they're on for much longer. It's 3 seconds and that's it. So you continually pressing Alt. It's doing this weird graphical thing where it's centering my character, which is annoying. And apparently I went on the forums, and this has been something that's been requested for over a year. They haven't implemented it. They probably will never implement it. This may be a dead game, concerning what I said about the online mode, but this is by far my biggest gripe with the game, and it's sort of a small nitpick, right? Over time it gets less annoying as I get used to it, but it is a downside of this game in my opinion. So then as far as the Steam Deck is concerned, or people who want to play this game with a controller, I'm going to go over some of the controls a little bit for the menuing. The controls for playing the game are very nice. I have nothing bad to say about it. I do wish that there was a little bit more customization. So if you go look at the controls, you really only get 2 options. There's control layout 1 and control layout 2. I don't personally like 100% of either of the controller configurations, but there's some flexibility there, and you can change your buttons to whatever you want through the Steam configuration. That is a little bit annoying that you can't ultimately customize it like you would the keyboard shortcuts, but it is what it is, and for me it's working out fine. The other thing is for the UI and item management and stuff, this is a community configuration radial menu that I found. Watch my video about Diablo if you want to try to set something up like this for yourself, or you can just grab this person's community layout. It's called Lords of Steam Deck is the name of the community layout. But so if you go to your inventory, you can see that there's two panels here. You press the select button to cycle through. So like, here's my skills, I can change my skills. Obviously I can use the mouse to select whatever I want. But if you want to go in controller only, one sort of annoying thing is this tooltip, it will block this UI element here, right? And as far as I can tell, there's no easy way to stop doing that. So one's to the right, it's not blocked, but that's a little bit annoying. And then this menu, how do I get to it? Let's see if I can. Okay, so if I go back to this, by default, yeah, so this radial menu here. I don't like this at all. I basically never interact with it. I enjoy selecting the items myself and putting them in the item category that I want. So like, let's say I wanted to change one of my shoulders. So in this game, there's a left shoulder and a right shoulder. It's going to tell me equip left, equip right. But as you can see, the comparison tooltip, it's only showing me my left shoulder. So from what I can understand, I've played around with it, I cannot preview a comparison between the item I want to equip and the right shoulder. And that is the same for left and right weapons and left and right rings. So I wish they would change that. It's not the end of the world. I've just been alternating left and right, both of them, and remembering which one I'm doing. The passive tree, I have no problems at all with navigating this with the controller. It's working very well, and the skills is the same. There's no issue at all with the skills, and the map is fine to use the controller. So the biggest gripes with the controller so far are a little bit of lack of customization. You can't do whatever you want, at least not through the UI of the game. You can further customize with the Steam Deck's controller configuration if you want to. Picking up items, that's a disaster in my opinion. That's my biggest problem by far with this game. And a little bit of the inventory management leaves something to be desired with, for me personally, how I like to manage my inventory and things like that. So there you have it. I really enjoy this game. I think that so far it's absolutely already given me $9 worth of value. I'm probably going to finish the campaign and play around with a little bit of the end game, but I really recommend this. I think that for that price, I can't remember the last time I got a $9 game, an ARPG that I liked better. I actually also did buy the Warhammer ARPG, Inquisitor Martyr, and there seems to be some authentication OpenSSL issues with the certificates that are available on the Steam Deck, that it doesn't work by default and you can't log on. So maybe I'll make a video about that. But for the time being, I think, yeah, I recommend picking this up during the summer sale. It's been really good, and if you've played this game, let me know what you think, and maybe you have some tips or tricks if you've already figured a lot of this stuff out.